Hello, welcome to the United Man. My name is Shane. This is the reaction for the Sevilla versus Manchester United game. Um, there's a few bits to go through. Not encouraging, unfortunately, with the amount of chances we created on that game. We are, well, we created, was it 20? We had 20 attempts today, 7 or 8 on target. Sevilla had 5 attempts on goal, 2 on target, scored 2 goals. That kind of tells its own story, unfortunately. So let's have a look at how we well, the first and foremost, if we look at Martial's missed chances, I know we should probably start with the first half, but seeing as we lost the game in the end, we've got some of the highlights on now, but seeing as we lost the game, I'm going to start with some of the chances that we had at the beginning of the second half. Beginning of the second half, it was all over him. There seemed like there was just a brick wall in the way, and we just couldn't break them down. We broke them down, couldn't actually put the ball in the back of the net. They had bodies flying everywhere. They're desperate not to let us score a second goal. The urgency, determination, and work rate that they put in to make sure we didn't get that second goal was just there for all to see. And their 2 goals that they scored were, I mean, on the first goal, it's we just fell asleep. Um, Twice. It's pretty much the same type of goal where it's come from the wing space and they're in between Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof or Wan-Bissaka and Maguire. Either way, we've just gone to sleep. We've not stopped the cross. We've not marked the striker. And both goals that they scored were pretty average, in all honesty. Um, if we look at the way we started the game, we won the penalty because we started quickly. We were slightly pressing the high, but we wasn't overawed or anything like that. So we deserved the opportunity that we got. We won the penalty. Bruno Fernandes dispatched it again. I think that's 9 out of 9 penalties he's put away now. I always felt like we were going to need another goal or two. The fact that we didn't get that second goal at all is unfortunately it's been coming. If we look over the past 6 games that we've played, our goal scoring has just got worse and worse as time's gone on. We've scored 8 goals in our past 6 games, which is nowhere near good enough realistically. So we've just run out of goals. I think it's one game too many, and we just look dead on our feet. And the fact that well, with Sevilla, they made a lot of changes early in the second half. I think their first one was Munir on the, well, he was ready from the 51st minute. He didn't get on to the 55th minute because the ball didn't obviously go out of play. But I think they made 3 changes, 4 changes in total. But the fact that they were making changes early and we left it until, was it the 81st minute before we made our change, says a lot with regards to the faith that Ollie does not have in the substitutes that he has available to him. What basically the substitutes that we had available were not going to make an impact in a positive way enough. We've got defensive replacements, but in terms of attacking, Juan Mata and Daniel James. Odi Nagalo obviously come on a bit later on, but it was way too late for him to actually make an impact. I just feel like we just literally, I don't know. I just feel like we were never gonna really score. The amount of chances that we created, and just, I mean, we scored one against Copenhagen, we scored 2 against Lask, one tonight. We just not scored. We just haven't been scoring enough goals. As I said, 8 goals in the last 6 games, whereas before that we were on an absolute tear. So get your thoughts, get your thoughts in. Um, Evans Jesse says perhaps he's not happy. Listen, one thing I did want to pick up on as well before I go through my player ratings is Marcus Rashford. Since he's been back, well, since his return back from injury and lockdown, he's not been the same player. He's not taking on players. He's not full pelt going at players at all. He's literally just taking it easy, coasting most of the games. He's not working back like he used to. Definitely going forwards, he's not been effective at all or anywhere near he was beforehand. I'm just wondering whether the injury's still niggling, whether mentally it's still affecting him. I don't know, but at this point in time, it's not great to see. It's just been largely ineffective in most games that he's played. I mean, the one time that he did have a bit of space today and he took on his fullback, went at him, done a couple of step overs, then lost control of the ball. So it's unfortunate, but it's how his season's gone since he returned. Before the lockdown and before his injury, he was absolutely fantastic. He was our sort of talisman. It shifted to Martial, which I haven't got a problem with, but if we had both Martial and Rashford firing on all cylinders, it'd be even more dangerous. Obviously, Greenwood, it's a lot, to be put on his shoulders, but he's got the ability as well. Never really got an opportunity to really even get a shot off today. Martial had a lot of chances today, so I'm not going to blame anyone, but the truth is obviously there. We had a lot of chances, 20 attempts, only 7 or 8 on target. So that tells its own story. Obviously, the goalkeepers had another storm against Copenhagen. It was more of the same. We've scored in the last 2 games. We've scored 2 goals, and they were both penalties. I know we're creating opportunities, but we're not sticking them away. Or maybe it's not the right person in that spot to put them away. Martial had a couple of chances against Copenhagen as well. Where he's been on form, I just think it may be too many games that we've played at this point. I think that was our 61st game this season, where on average most clubs will play 48, 46 games. It's a lot, and that's by now we would have started the Premier League season had it been a normal season. So obviously it's not been. There was a lull in between, but they couldn't exactly train properly, so their fitness levels would have dropped somewhat. They had bikes that they could use. I think the club provided with them, but obviously it's not going to be the same. Now, I think Sevilla was there for the taking. I really, really do. Now, obviously, they got a few men behind the ball once we settled in front of their area. But when they pushed their fullbacks up really high, the opportunity for counter attacking was there on a few occasions. We just didn't take it. We created a lot of opportunities. We didn't take them, which is worrying somewhat because this is the Europa League and it is the second tier of European football. It's not the best footballers that we're going to come across, let's say, but we're struggling. We struggled against Copenhagen to take chances. We struggled against Lask when we were 5-0 up on aggregate already. We only beat them 2-1. We conceded a goal against them as well. We looked a bit dodgy again against Copenhagen. We conceded 2 goals today, and we're not scoring enough. I know lads are tired, but it's pretty much the same for most teams. I know we played a few extra games because we reached 3 semi-finals, but it's pretty much the same for most teams. I just feel that Ollie doesn't have the confidence in the players to bring on to affect the game in a positive manner. Hence why I said he waited till the 81st minute to make his first change. You could see Rashford was dead in the water. Fred had been busting a gut all game. Greenwood was obviously tired. Ollie doesn't have any faith in the players that he's bringing in. But the bigger issue is at the back, I feel, because there will be times when we need to win games 1-0. When we're going into the Champions League, it's going to be crucial. We're going to have to win games 1-0. And the fact that we're just not, or we seem incapable of keeping clean sheets at the moment. I mean, we kept 27 clean sheets this season. That's the most clean sheets across all of the top 5 European leagues. 27 clean sheets, but in the last few games we struggled to keep. Well, we struggled to keep clean sheets because we kept one against Leicester, but yeah, we're just not looking solid. Before lockdown, we were looking really, really solid, and that's where most of our clean sheets came. Since the lockdown, I suppose, since we've been playing more expansive football, we've conceded a few more chances, but we need to be scoring loads of goals or keeping clean sheets. We can't keep scoring loads of. We can't keep not scoring loads of goals and not keeping clean sheets. So yeah, it's unfortunate. A few years saying it's disgraceful performance, but let's have a look. Right, let's see. Tommy Morris is saying the last 2 games we have had 46 shots and 21 on target and only scored 2 penalties. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, as we say, we've had a load of chances, not been scoring enough. Mad Mark, It said, even your, this is your man, Mad Mark UK in the house with the United man. Whoop, whoop. What's going on, Mark? Rasmus A says, hello. What's going on, Rasmus? Thanks for joining us, mate. Javi, that game was shocking. We need those players like Pau Torres and Alaba. You know, couldn't agree more. We're missing Luke Shaw. That's one of the things which is painstakingly obvious right now. We're missing Luke Shaw. It's just, you know, going forward, there is no real attacking options from the fullbacks. Wan-Bissaka is probably never going to be that guy going forwards. His job is going to be mainly defensively. But then on the other side, we do need to have an attacking threat from the wing-back positions because they're the ones that create most of our width because we don't actually at the moment have a winger. Rasmus A says, I don't trust these players. I mean, it's hard to say that, you know, we don't trust them, but I can understand what you mean in terms of, you know, can we defend a lead? No, we can't, clearly, because we scored first. And then obviously Sevilla's going to score 2 after that. Don't worry. It's the dummy cup. It's not the real European Cup, says Mad Mark UK. I can't remember when last I was confident with these boys going into a game, even when we play a championship team. I don't know. I mean, I understand what you mean, but in terms of feeling confident, it's probably a few games back now when we were firing on all cylinders. But like I said, it has been a while. To be fair, Terry saying, Shane, hey bruv, sorry I was able to join you tonight. Was on one of those frustrating games. We didn't take our chances. They did. They defended for their lives. We didn't. We just looked tired. Yeah, I think, as I said, it's one game too many now. Yeah, it's very, very true. I think we've just played one game too many. It's not anything, I believe, but tiredness, which leads me to wonder how we're going to do next season, because I think we're going to have 30 days off. I think any team that's been in European competition, they get 30 days off from their last game. So, but at the same time, you've got to try and get match fitness in with that period of time. So I don't know how it's going to work. It's going to be very, very difficult, obviously. So I'm not too sure how it's going to work. Mad Mark UK, Shane, you rock, much appreciated. Only rate Bruno and Pogba. Evans Jesse says it's hard. It is hard to take those defeats, but like I say, I want to go back to, I mean, like I said, we're creating opportunities. There will be some games where we need to win 1-0. We were sloppy defensively. Harry Maguire, I can't really say he's at fault for one of the game goals, but he does need to orchestrate as a leader back there and the captain. You would expect him to make sure he's orchestrating, you know, back there as well. But for example, the second goal, where both centre backs are pretty much past their centre forward. Wan-Bissaka did have him and then switched off. So for me, that the second goal is on Wan-Bissaka and on Lindelof, where Lindelof's turn, he's seen that Wan-Bissaka's got him. Wan-Bissaka's let him go. So that's fine. It's fine that obviously Lindelof sort of had look, seen that Wan-Bissaka's got him. But if Wan-Bissaka was never goal side, so for me as a centre back, you need to be able to either square up and make sure that that cross doesn't go in between you and the goalkeeper, or you take a couple of steps back and get close to the striker, because Harry Maguire had already gone front post to try and cover the cross, which neither of them did. Went past 2 centre backs and our right back let the striker go. Way too easy of a goal. Similar goal from the left hand side, but it just went up against Brandon Williams the second time, and as I say, a guy was unmarked at the back post, went near post. I was going to ask the question, could David De Gea have done better? But for me, we've had a lot of opportunities before then to make sure that we've cleared the ball, and they've not got a shot off. The phases when the players are complaining, the amount of opportunities that we've had to both win the ball back or stop the cross or clear the ball out of the area before Suso gets contact on the ball at the back post. Numerous opportunities. Maybe it's a little bit harsh to say say De Gea should have stopped it because it was his near post and it's travelled from his right to left. I just think we need to have done a lot better there. I feel like we've, as I say, they've had a couple of shots on target, I think half a dozen shots all game, and they've beaten us. And yeah, I can't say I'm surprised either. So, it's one of those. But I really do feel like we've got to sort that out at the back there, because what's happened since we've come back from the lockdown, I don't know. Maybe we was having to win games a little bit more tactically before we got Bruno, because we weren't creating that many opportunities. Maybe that's what it is. Let's have a look. Go back to the comments. Strip. Oh dear. Hold on. I'll come back to that one. I wonder whether Dalot is injured. I think he is better both defensively and offensively than Williams. That's from Rasmus A. That's quite a statement there, Rasmus. Going forward, I believe Dalot is probably the best fullback that we have. Well, it's close between him and Luke Shaw. Definitely on the right hand side. Dalot's a lot better than Wan-Bissaka going forwards. Brilliant cross of the ball, can take on his man as well, but defensively he's not very good. I think Brandon Williams is probably a little bit better than Dalot defensively, but we've hardly seen him, so it's hard to kind of judge. He's not really had any opportunities to prove that. Shame on mate. Don't let the loss beat you up. Be strong through these hard times. United fans, it will get a lot worse before it gets any better. Yeah, cheers for that, Mark. Strip. Oh, here it is. Strip the captaincy from Maguire and give it to Bruno. You could see the passion in Bruno, especially tonight. Do you know what? I mean, I'm going to have to sit on the fence with that one there, Javi, but it's not a bad shout in terms of Bruno being captain. However, I don't think it's probably a bit of unnecessary sort of pressure on Bruno. I feel like if we just leave it as it is for now, because stripping the captaincy from someone is saying that they're really done something really wrong, or they're just really wrong for that position. So it'd be a bit harsh. But Bruno, after the second goal that Sevilla scored, Bruno was the only one. Bruno seems like he's the only one that holds people accountable. He went up to Lindelof and gave him a rollicking, basically. So, and it was brilliant to see. They showed that in the caption afterwards, that Bruno went up to Lindelof and says, basically, what was you doing? Harry Maguire's gone near post. You're supposed to pick up the centre forward. Both centre backs are past the centre forward. What are you doing? So, and obviously Lindelof responded saying basically do one, but I agree, hold people accountable. And I don't believe in this modern era of players that players do that enough. So if you imagine that we conceded those 2 goals with Roy Keane as captain, someone's not leaving the pitch alive, I'll tell you. So yeah, I think it's a good point there. The passion that Bruno's showing is one born of natural leadership. I don't think we need to change the captaincy though, because that might, as I say, put a bit too much pressure on Bruno Fernandes and belittle Maguire a bit too much. But it's a good shout. John McDonald, how's it going, mate? How long have I been saying Lindelof is rubbish? I've been saying it for a long time as well, John. I completely agree. He's I wouldn't say he's rubbish, but he's not the type of caliber that we need at Manchester United. He's not. We're not going to win the Premier League with Lindelof next to Maguire. We're not going to win any European competition, which is obvious today. This is the second tier European Cup. We're not going to win it with the likes of Lindelof back there. Brandon Williams obviously has tried his best. We're missing Luke Shaw. So for me, absolutely right there, John. We need an upgrade. We need an upgrade there. The fact that we played Fred, Matic, and McTominay in the CDM position as well screams that we need investment there as well. We've got Pogba, we've got Bruno. We need a natural ball-winning central defensive midfielder. That much is obvious. I just, how much we're going to get to spend, I don't know. We'll see. What chance does this defense have when against the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and Ronaldo? And this is the point. Great point there, Tommy Morris. Thanks for joining us. That's a fantastic point. I mean, as I said, this is a second tier European Cup. We're going to be going into the big boys European Cup next season. and we're conceding against the likes of Lask. We're struggling to score against the likes of Copenhagen. You know, we're conceding goals against, obviously, Sevilla are no joke, but this is our first real test. Ollie said it himself. It's probably the best team we've played since lockdown. What did we show? We showed that we could break them down, but we couldn't be ruthless and take our chances. We weren't clinical enough. So yeah, it's a great point. What are we going to be like when we're going up against Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, Erling Haaland, all them boys? What are we going to be like? You know, so that's a very good question now. That if we're struggling against these guys, like we have in the last few games, Copenhagen, we were struggling to break them down, and like I said, we conceded a few chances to them as well. So we do need to do a lot better, to be fair. I don't know. It's just difficult, isn't it, at the minute, to say. Let's go to this one. Mitchell Belson, hold on, mate. Don't start being humble now. You have been all saying if Sancho comes, you'll be involved in the title next season. You have been humbled 5 times since then. I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point, but one thing, you know, we have to look at is the reality is, look, we've struggled against these teams where there's been no real threat from them. You know, we've got to be beating these teams, you know, 4, 5, 6, maybe 1-6-0. We shouldn't, you know, for me, the likes of Sevilla, yes, they're a good outfit, but if you look at individual talent wise, you know, they shouldn't be really standing up against the likes of us. So yeah, for me, it's interesting to see Mitchell's comment there. So I wouldn't quite say that we'd said that with Sancho would win the title. You know, that those words have never come out of my mouth, that's for sure. But yes, investment is needed. I think that's the majority of United fans have said that we need investment, we need a bit more, and that much is obvious. So, you know, it's harsh to see, but that's the reality of it. Why Lindelof? Why Raymond Moore's in the house? What's going, Raymond? Why Lindelof was mad at Bruno? He's the defender, not Bruno. Bruno did his job by scoring the penalty. Now, I mean, sometimes when you're being told certain things on a football pitch, you don't really want to hear it. But the obvious truth is that Lindelof, he turned around, seen Wan-Bissaka on the striker. Wan-Bissaka was never goal side, so he should have either orchestrated and stepped back a little bit, or like I said, close a space in between him and De Gea so the ball couldn't go in between them. Even if he's closed that space, taking 2 steps back, he's either going to block that cross or he's going to flick it over De Jong's head. But he did neither. Looked there and then looked back and didn't really get his body into shape. Maguire should have probably done better in terms of stopping the ball in, or at least trying to block it, but we didn't do either. And Wan-Bissaka obviously should have followed De Jong into the box. So yeah, it's one of those. All right, let's have a look. Matej saying our defense isn't very good there. So I mean, I'd have to agree. The defense hasn't been good at all recently, and you know, it's one of those where what can you do? You know, for me, Lindelof is you know, mid-table team central defender. He's not top of the league type defender. He's never gonna be that. So it was a Mourinho signing for 50 mil from Benfica. He's never looked like he was going to be a world class centre back, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Matej says, why have we bottled 3 semi-finals? Yeah, and that's the reality of it. I think Ollie probably dropped a ball there when we went up against Chelsea when he made those changes and evidently derailed our momentum, I think, because obviously we hadn't lost a game in 19 games until that point. So, you know, I think Ollie's got to take a little bit of responsibility for that one as well. However, we've played a few games since then, and it seems like we've just run out of legs. That's what it seems like at the end of the day. We've just looked very, very tired. I can't really say that because we created that many opportunities. I can't really blame anyone apart from our defensive sloppiness, and that's the reality of it. We've been sloppy, and we've, they've had a half a dozen chances, a couple on target, and they've scored both. Whereas we've had, was it 20 odd attempts? And they're just showing replays now of the first goal where it brushed the Sevilla centre back's afro. It didn't really touch his head. It brushes afro, which obviously the United players were saying it should have been United throwing. However, there was loads of phases after that, as I said, to win the ball back, stop the cross, and stop the ball being, knocked in at the back post. So yeah, for me, we can't really blame anyone but ourselves, and that's what Robbie Savage was saying in commentary as well. If United lose this game, we can't blame anyone but ourselves, because we've had the opportunities. We've had the opportunities. We've had more than enough chances. The goalkeeper done well, but at the same time, I mean, we did carve him open a few times. So there was a couple of times where Martial should have dinked the ball over the goalkeeper instead of trying to place it. But I suppose that comes with experience. Martial's had his best scoring season ever. Rashford's has had his best scoring season ever. Greenwood's burst onto the scene, scored 17 goals as well. So, it's not all doom and gloom. Still a very young side. We do need to add a couple of pieces. I think to the starting lineup, we need to add definitely a centre back, definitely a central defensive midfield. Even though Fred worked his backside off today, we definitely need to add to those positions, and it's got to be world class or verging on the cusp of world class ability. Like Bruno Fernandes, we brought him in. He wasn't considered to be world class before he came to Manchester United. Since he's come to Manchester United, he's considered one of the best midfielders in the Premier League and also world class. And we need to be signing more players like that, more players that want to come to Manchester United to play for Manchester United, not to be picking up a big wage check each week. And I think that's what Ollie's intent on doing, and he's done well with that. However, the question remains going forwards in the big games against the big coaches, tactically, are we going to get it right? Because that's what it's going to come down to, and that's what it does come down to in the big games in European football. That's what it comes down to. If we're tactically good enough, or is Ollie, as it's been said before, tactically inept? I believe he's grown into the job. I believe he's grown with the job, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's maturing with the team, growing with the team. All the lads are responding to him. That's one of the signs of a good manager. There, where the lads are responding to him. Martial's obviously responding to him. Rashford's responded to him. Matic has come back to form. Luke Shaw, he's brought through Brandon Williams. He's brought through Scott McTominay has obviously played already, but Greenwood obviously brought through as well. Ted Mengi's obviously got to start. A couple of appearances as well. But it's good to see. It's good to see, but we're not there yet. Still a way to go. Still a few players to bring in as well. So patriotic Pats fan, New England Patriots fan in the house. What's going on? Luke Shaw is the most important left back in the world. That's a big shout there. I like that. We're definitely missing him, that's for sure. And the fact that he is he's injured, has been injured quite a lot. So it was hard to see him go down again. It was a twisted ankle, so he obviously was going to be out for the rest of the season, which was only a few games. But hopefully he comes back and looks as good as he has been. I think we didn't realise what we had until he's been missing, unfortunately. Matej says we need Koulibaly or Dale Upamecano for me from RB Leipzig. I think a few of you would have seen him play against Atletico Madrid, went up against Diego Costa before. Diego Costa couldn't outmuscle him. He was certainly a lot quicker than him as well, and he played well with the ball at his feet. So Koulibaly, I think he's 30 now. So unless he's going to be a buy-in for the next couple of seasons, Ollie would more than likely go for the likes of Dale Upamecano. That's more the staple how in terms of type of player he would look to sign. So yeah. Okay. Luke Shaw was named United Player of this year 2019, and he is the most important player in the Man United squad. Got a Luke Shaw fan here and patriotic Pats fan. What do you think about Tom Brady leaving for Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Then that's a big one. As a New England Patriot fan, I watch a bit of NFL as well. I think. Oh, here's one by Matic. I think we need to sell De Gea. Oh, dear. That's a big statement there, Matic. You have to let me know if you guys agree with that one or not. I don't know. I'm on the fence with De Gea. Do you think he should have saved that first goal in his near post? I think it's probably a bit harsh if we try and blame him for that one as well. John saying too much deadwood in our squad. It tells you everything when we make our first sub in the 85th minute. As I was saying earlier, that's a big sign. Ollie doesn't have any faith in the lads that he can bring on to affect the game in a positive manner. So that's huge. That is a huge thing. So it's one of those. And yeah. There's another contentious comment here. Chris Smalling was better than Maguire and Lindelof. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about Smalling got loaned out for a reason, and his stats that have been padded is because he played in the Italian league, which is a much less competitive league, let's say. Remy saying, my question is, will we get another player in? We managed to get Sancho and pay that 120 mil. People will say we're rich, but taking age to pay that fee. All it comes down to is that we don't want to pay out all that in one hit. That's what it comes down to, unfortunately. It's not the fact that we can't afford to pay all that out in one hit. It's just that, say, for example, we do only have, say, 160, 150 mil to spend this summer, and we spend 108 million pounds straight off the bat. Obviously, doesn't leave us enough to go and sign other world-class players. So I believe Woodward, that's our budget. So I believe Woodward is trying to pay, for example, 70 mil up front, so he can, and then pay the rest on in add-ons, guaranteed add-ons maybe, or bonus incentivized add-ons. So I think that's what he's doing. So yeah, let's. But that being said, it needs to happen, needs to get done. It's quite obvious now. And if the money men at Man United want all that big cash from Champions League and titles and winning cups, need to invest. Simple as that. Patriotic Pats fan has responded, Tom Brady is the GOAT, but I am here to talk Man United, not Patriots. Much appreciated for that. Man United, in all honesty, I feel like we're going to be in a good position going forwards. Just need to make the signings happen. As Raymond said there, we're taking too long to get these deals done. So yeah, we just need to hurry up, basically, get this deal done, because Romano is saying basically that we're only focusing. Big clubs only focus on the big deals one at a time. Which, if that's the case, it doesn't bode well for us, does it really? As Matt, what's going on, Matt? Matt's in the house, brother. What's going on, man? As Matt said, poor finishing cost us today. It had a massive impact on what we haven't done, basically. Copenhagen was kind of like almost like a showcase for this one. We created opportunities. The goalkeeper had a storming game. We didn't really finish him off. The exact same thing happened today, to be fair. So unfortunately, the writing was kind of on the wall. Let's be honest. We didn't finish our dinner, basically, and we paid the price for it. Simple as that. So, we've got to put our chances away. We need to, long and short of it, do better. My one thing is the fact that, okay, we're bringing a centre back, we're bringing a CDM. Is that enough? Is it enough to bring Dean Henderson? I can't see. Listen, the fact that Ollie's brought De Gea in for this game, De Gea's not going to be going anywhere. I can't see. He signed a new contract. Was it last season? The fact that he's brought him back in, nah, he's not going to be. He's not going to be letting De Gea go. So is a centre back and a CDM going to be enough? Is Luke Shaw coming back going to be enough, because he's consistently getting injured? Unfortunately, as good as he's been this season, you can see that we miss him, and Brandon Williams isn't quite up to scratch to that level yet. He's doing his best, but he's a right-footed left back, as Dennis Irwin Irwin was, but Dennis Irwin had a supreme left foot as well as a right foot. So, it's kind of unbalancing ourselves, because you had Luke Shaw doing the overlapping runs, knocking balls back in with his left foot, whereas Brandon Williams won't and isn't making it as many overlapping runs. And when he does make those overlapping runs, he's not really delivering in terms of a ball into the box. So realistically, I think we need to look at the left back position. We definitely need to look at a centre back to go alongside Maguire. I think it's pointless us saying now that we need to get rid of Maguire. He's the Man United captain. Ollie isn't going to change that. Ollie he is quite loyal to his players, so it's pointless looking at Maguire as well. We know he's going to be here for the foreseeable. So yeah, I think we do need to look at, the fact that we may need to look at an upgrade on Luke Shaw. Seeing something there about Javi says maybe Alex Telles from Porto. See, now Alex Telles is another one where he's a brilliant left back going forwards, decent defensively, but that's why I said but absolutely exceptional going forward. I use the Owen Hargreaves' favourite word there, exceptional, but he's brilliant going forwards, decent enough, defensively, but Wan-Bissaka's fantastic defensively, but not great going forward. So that creates the, decent balance. But Alex Telles has been at Porto for a few seasons now, where I'm like, why has no one bought him? Why has no one gone out and got him? Where he's brilliant going forwards. He's brilliant in terms of set pieces as well. So he's another one where I'm just like, he's been in the Portuguese league for a few seasons too many for my liking now. He's 27, I think he is. So maybe, as much as I'd like to see it, I can't, I wouldn't be against that one. His experience as well. So he's got a wonderful left foot. He really, really has. But like I said, he's been at Porto now for a few seasons. I'm just wondering why no one's gone and got him when his ability is quite evident for everyone. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there that we don't know. But then the same could have been said for Bruno Fernandes. Why is it that it seemed like only Manchester United were in for him at the time? It's strange ones. Really, really, really strange things, that is. It was a game too far. Yeah, too much game time with the same players. Ollie doesn't trust the bench, and it's obvious. That much is obvious, and that's what we're suffering from. The very fact that we don't have the squad depth or the quality in squad depth for Ollie to be able to call on. Juan Mata is 33 now, I think he is, and he's never been played in his correct position as far as I'm concerned, which is a central attacking midfielder. But the type of football we play has never sort of warranted or suited that to play to match his strengths, unfortunately. However, that being said, still got some technical ability, but physically he's going to be run out of the game now, which shows. And Daniel James, first 5 games for Man United, decent, but you could still see technically he wasn't on par of what Manchester United needed, but yet he was starting. Even Greenwood now, he shouldn't really be starting every single game, because he's still developing physically, mentally, trying to understand the game. Playing him and starting him for 80 minutes for every single game, he'll be getting experience from that, but it's not beneficial to him. He needs to come out sometimes, needs to be in sometimes. Some games he needs to play full 90 minutes. Some games he just needs to play 55 minutes, 60 minutes. Some games he'll need to miss. And that's part of the development, but he's playing every single game because we don't have the quality to replace him. He doesn't trust Daniel James. He doesn't trust Andreas Pereira for good reason. McTominay, who's just not looked, anywhere near his levels where he was beforehand since the lockdown. So yeah, it is worrying because we don't have the quality in depth, unfortunately. We need to be bringing in Sancho, Grealish, CDM, centre back, and then maybe we'll be in a decent enough position. That's 4 players. But yeah, it's tough to see. Matthew says, I think Alphonso Davies is the best player for us now. It's interesting because he's kind of burst into the scene. He was a left winger, essentially, but his sort of rise to stardom has been a rapid one in that left back position. But Bayern aren't going to be selling him anytime soon. It'd be a ridiculous fee as well. So I as much as I'd like to see that happen, I don't think that's going to be realistic, to be fair. Yes, and is a question from Patriotic Pat's fan. Is Bruno Fernandes the best penalty taker in the world? He's certainly the most consistent. That's in Europe. I can't speak for outside Europe, but in terms of Europe, he's the most consistent penalty taker in Europe right now. Yeah, he's not missed a penalty. I think that's what is that 10 in 10 penalty. So, and people may complain about Manchester United getting all these penalties. I think that was our 22nd penalty today. But people may complain. But I always say, look, we've got to be we've got to get those penalties. We've got to be getting in those positions, which we have been doing on a consistent basis, and giving the referees something to think about in terms of making that choice. So it's not our fault. We get in those positions, which is really good. And same again today. Can't blame us for getting penalties, but you can certainly praise Bruno for putting them all away. Clutch penalties as well, where the game's on the line. The one against Copenhagen, the one today, obviously 1-0 for Copenhagen, put us 1-0 up today. Couldn't hold the lead, obviously, but clutch penalty taker. Simple as that. We need that because we haven't been scoring many goals. Simple as that. Like I said, 8 goals in the past 6 games, which isn't good enough. Shane, in your view, after Ollie's selection tonight, has Romero played his last game for us? Good question there, Terry. And yes, I believe that is because he's done that twice now, and he's supposed to be our cup goalkeeper. He's a much bigger unit than De Gea is as well, much bigger presence. So, and he comes and claims balls as well. So, for me, yeah, the fact that he's brought in De Gea at the semi-final stage, obviously would have played him in the final as well, which, would have been still harsh, but you couldn't let Romero get to the final and then all of a sudden pick De Gea, which is why he's gone with him tonight, and it's not worked out anyway. So yeah, for me, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I guarantee you will see positive PR coming out from the club in the coming days. Yeah, whenever there's I'd seen some fan theory with regards to, or fan conspiracy theory with regards to the reason that the Jadon Sancho deal's done, and the reason they're not announcing it is because they don't want to take any hype away from, or they want all the hype to be on the Jadon Sancho deal, and that won't be the case whilst the Europa League's going on. So yeah, I've seen that as well. So if that's the case, then so be it. Brilliant. We finally play attacking, risk-taking football, and people are calling for his head. Any manager coming into United will need investment. Today's loss was worse because we actually dominated the game. That's a fantastic point there, Palmaris, as well. Really good point there. I suppose, for want of a better word, is we didn't dig in deep towards the end. We were dominating the game. We were creating tons of opportunities. We did have Sevilla back on the back foot, but this is where we need someone to be a leader, to be able to, for want of a better word, organize, ensure that we're set up properly. Because as much as it was 3-on-1, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka who were in the box, and there's only De Jong in his own. We've got to be able to defend that a lot better. Simple as that. Got to be able to defend that a lot better. So do you know what? It was a bad loss today because we dominated, but I'm not after Ollie's head, because this would have been a bonus. Our main target was to secure Champions League place, which we've done. So for me, I'm not going to jump up and down. My main concern, my main worry is our defense. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I'll try and find a stat for next time. How many goals we've scored in the past? What is it? I think 8 games. I'll try and find out anyway. I know we've only not 8 games. Sorry, 10 games. But I know we've only scored 8 goals in the past 6 games. So, another 4 games, I don't think we've scored that many. The goals just literally started to dwindle up, dry up. Game after game, we were scoring less and less and less. We scored 5, then we scored 3, then we scored 3, then we scored 2, I think it was. And it just went down to 1, and then 2, 1, 1. And then, yeah, we've just not been scoring enough goals. And we've been conceding as well, which isn't great. So, for me, whilst conceding, whilst we're basically given the opportunity for other teams to come back at us because we're not scoring goals, it's causing ourselves a problem. It really is. We're not finishing our dinner, basically. So yeah, we do need to really sort that out. So yeah, I'm just we just need investment now. And if the owners or the money men at Manchester United were trying to not buy a centre back for Ollie, which I believe Ollie does want a centre back, today's performance should show him. If he was and iron about having to spend out, the entire amount that Borussia Dortmund want for Sancho, today should show him that we need that investment. Same with CDM. As I said, we played Matic, we played McTominay and Fred in the central defensive midfield position. As 3 players, we've not been consistent at all in terms of being able to play one player in that position. Matic has played a lot since January in that position, but obviously it's been rotated pretty much between him, Fred, and Scott McTominay. The fact that Matic didn't come on today says that either, again, Ollie doesn't trust Matic, or I don't know, because he's been the go-to guy in that position, but all of a sudden in the big games he just doesn't fancy him. So I don't know. He didn't even come on today. Came on against Copenhagen because we're under the cosh, but offensively we don't have anyone to bring on, which is really annoying. But anyway, before I forget, I better do my player ratings. De Gea, I'm gonna give a 6, literally because there wasn't much he had to do, but you can't really blame him for either goal. Like I said, you'd have to let me know with the first goal, it was his near post, but it came from the far side, from his right hand side all the way over to his left hand side, and went near post, where a lot of strikers will open up the body and try and bend it back in that far corner. So you'd have to give David De Gea a bye this time. Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to go with a 6 as well. I just think he's tired. He played that many games. 61st game that was for Manchester United this season, and he's been ever present, as is Harry Maguire as well, and Lindelof, to be fair. But the tired legs, I think, is showing. So give him a 6 as well. Made a couple of good tackles, made a couple of silly tackles as well. He's trying to get better offensively, but you can just see technically he's going to need a lot of work. Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 4 because he was involved in both goals conceded, and yeah, I'm going to give him a 4 anyway. Maguire, I'll give a 5 again because he's in that central area as well, in and around him. Brandon Williams, I'll give a 6. Worked really hard, but he's a right-footed left back at the moment, so you've got to give him a blah as well. Fred, played decent, to be fair. I'll give him a 6. All energy, all games, so can't blame him. Pogba, I'll give a 7. I thought he done really well today. Got a bit leggy and tired towards the end of the game though, but he done his defensive works, defensive duties as well. Like I said, played decent. Bruno, I'll give Bruno a, I don't know, 6. I'll put down a 7, but I don't know if he's a 6 or a 7. I'll put him down. I'll give him a 6. No, 7. I'll give him a 7. He scored that penalty, didn't he? So I've got to give him a bit higher than a 6. He scored that penalty. He done well. And I like the fact that he went at Lindelof after we conceded that second goal. Greenwood, I'd have to give him a 6 today. Couldn't really get into the game today, unfortunately. So I'll give him a 6. Martial, I'll give him a 6. Rashford, I'll give him a 5. Unfortunately, these guys haven't been, involved in the game enough, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just one of those. But yeah, it's how it goes, unfortunately. Zings. Oh gosh, how you doing, my man? I ain't seen you in a while. Well, it wasn't Ollie's fault. We was all over them, but not clinical. 22 attempts, 9 on target. Yeah, only scored a pen. That's it. All it's very, very true. It's very true, isn't it? Woke up at 5 a.m. Obama Bean. Man, I woke up at 5 a.m. here in Australia to watch and we lost. Fair play to you, man, for waking up at 5 a.m. Unfortunately, we did lose, and I apologize on I apologize for our performance. I apologize for the fact that we didn't get that win and you had to wake up at 5 a.m. man. It's unfortunate. Bruno was raging at Lindelof for his position for the goal. Maguire should have done that. Yeah, exactly. And exactly what I was saying before. Bruno is holding people accountable, and that's what we need as a leader. You don't have to be the captain to be a leader. You don't have to wear the armband to hold people accountable. And that's what Bruno does. That's just his natural thing. I love the fact that he went up to Lindelof and says, "What was you doing, geezer? In your face, sort it out. Got to do better next time." I love that. So, but as you said, probably Maguire should have been doing that. So yeah. Anyway, guys, gonna wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining me. Going to be doing a podcast with Jay from Stretford Paddock tomorrow at 3 p.m. So make sure you join me then. And yeah, going to be doing a podcast with Mr. Flying Pig on Wednesday at 4. So make sure you joining me tomorrow at 3 p.m. with Jay from Stretford Paddock and Mr. Flying Pig on Wednesday at 4 p.m. as well. Much appreciated for you guys joining me, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.